All right, the Indian Jesus. We see why they call you that, sir. You know,
Yes, sir.
what's your take on this whole situation here with I was gonna say Amber Heard with Roe
I
v.
gave you my
Wade being
thoughts on that one.
overturned.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I actually think about this a lot because I am an atheist who was brought up religious. So
Mm-hmm.
the abortion question was not a question when I was being brought up, and then I kind of fell away from those values and then had to figure them out on my own. For a while, I think pro-choice and pro-life are not even really the right way to describe these things anymore. Because
Mm-hmm.
if you remember, in the safe, legal, and rare age, that was the platform. But that's not how it is anymore. The people who are pro-abortion, as I call it, are looking for up to 9 months, all that stuff. So I was convinced by a conservative that there is no or any place that you decide that life begins other than conception is arbitrary. Some people will say the heartbeat, viability, this, that, whatever. But I do believe that there is no better place to logically say life begins than at conception. However, I am very much a libertarian, and I do believe that in 99.9% of the cases, except the ones that AV and some others have brought up, those obvious cases, if we need to do the procedure, then we need to do it. But that's not the majority of why people are getting this procedure. And people, as it was also said earlier, people are using this as contraception. So I believe that that's immoral. But I think one really important thing, as this debate is going to be flaring up again, is for people to understand the other side.
Mm-hmm.
The people who are pro-abortion making the argument that, oh, it's just a clump of cells, this, that, and the other, that is simply not a good way to have this conversation, because people on the other side of the debate actually believe that that clump of cells is a potential human being. And so when you talk
Mm.
about my body, my choice, or one's choice, you're not talking about the same things they're talking about. They're talking about somebody else's body. Whether you believe
Right.
it or not, they're talking about what they believe is somebody else's body. So I think
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot of different ways. There's a lot of different takes. There's a lot of nuance that goes on with this. But I really think that before we get anywhere, it's really important that we understand, what do people mean and what do people care about. I think that will help us, have this conversation, this debate has been roaring forever. And, especially understanding that the overturning of Roe v. Wade doesn't make abortion illegal, it just kicks it back to the states. Understanding these basic things will allow us to dig into the philosophical and political aspects of this that we actually need to talk about, so that we can figure out what it is that we want to do and where we want to go with this.
Absolutely, absolutely. Um, did you said you're an atheist, right? And you are which, by the way, the Indian Jesus as an atheist. That's an interesting
Oh, yeah.
juxtaposition. Are you for or against abortion? What did you say?
So, more personally, morally, I am against it. But as a libertarian, I don't believe, just like with the jabs, I don't believe that the government has the right to come in and tell you what to do with your body. So
Mm-hmm.
it comes back to, as far as legislation, I am pro-choice. I am not pro-abortion. I am pro-choice. I don't believe that the government has the right to say that you can't do this with your body. But I definitely could be moved on that, based on the philosophical point that it is, in fact, a life that you're holding in your womb. There's the argument about, like, if I decide that, somebody who's going to die, a grown person who's going to die, can live if I connect them to me by a tube. At a later point, I can, even though that person is dependent on me to live, I can still decide to disconnect that tube, even though I know that person's going to die, because it's my body. Now, the of course, it changes when you're talking about a fetus that you made through your own choices. So it's very difficult. And then, there's the whole thing about, women's choice, but it takes two to tango. And where's the men's, where do men fall into the whole thing? So, I mean, I gotta, as you said from the super chat, I do have to run to work, but I just wanted to lay some of that foundational stuff out, because I think, again, it's really important that we are talking to each other and not talking across each other.
Got you, got you, got you. All right. Well, shout out to the Indian Jesus. y'all go check him out. He has got his stream that is coming today. Is that right? What time is your
That's
stream?
correct. So I'm going to meet a client. I should be back around 5 p.m. Eastern. Right around 5 p.m., 5:30. Check out the Indian Jesus on YouTube. I've changed the channel, Indian Jesus, the Indian Jesus. And I'd love to hear from you guys. I'm going to have some stuff that we're going to go through, and then I'd love to hear from you guys.
Shout out. Well, thank you so much. Really, really appreciate it. So you can come back anytime. Y'all go check out my man Indian
Thank you,
Jesus.
guys. Take care, AV.
If y'all could drop
Bye.
the link to his channel in the chat. All right.